Today's top story: concerns over U.S. border security have escalated in the wake of a violent attack in Boulder, Colorado. Texas Senator Ted Cruz, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, highlighted the national security risks stemming from immigration loopholes that date back 26 years, issues the 9/11 Commission previously warned about. The attacker in Boulder reportedly shouted "Free Palestine" before lighting elderly Jewish demonstrators on fire at a pro-Israel protest. Among the victims was a Holocaust survivor. Authorities confirmed the attacker was an illegal immigrant. Despite this, some national media outlets did not report the attacker's immigration status in their initial coverage. Criticism has mounted over the response by federal agencies. Former FBI official Andrew McCabe questioned the FBI's rapid classification of the Boulder attack as terrorism, arguing that more evidence is typically needed before labeling an event as such. However, Senator Cruz argued that this response reflects a broader reluctance to acknowledge radical Islamic terrorism, especially when politically inconvenient. Senator Cruz also pointed to previous attacks, including one in New Orleans where a man flew an ISIS flag and drove into a crowd. Authorities at the time hesitated to classify it as terrorism. He asserts that political ideology is influencing how federal agencies define and respond to such incidents. In a disturbing trend, other antisemitic acts have also been reported recently. A young Jewish couple was murdered in Washington, D.C., reportedly targeted because of their faith. The Pennsylvania governor's mansion was firebombed, allegedly by a radical who wanted to kill the governor and his family. Elderly Jewish citizens have been targeted and assaulted across various locations in recent months. Senator Cruz attributes the rise in such hate-fueled attacks to what he describes as a poisonous ideology that has taken hold during the Biden administration and is being tolerated or ignored by Democratic leaders. In Congress, efforts to tighten the border and reform immigration policy have been blocked repeatedly, largely along party lines. Senator Cruz emphasized that under the Trump administration, illegal border crossings dropped by over 99% at one point, and that renewed policy efforts aim to fund the border wall, increase ICE agents, and expand detention capacity. However, he notes that Senate Democrats have consistently opposed these measures. Turning to the judiciary, Senator Cruz expressed concern over what he calls lawless judicial tyranny. He highlighted the unprecedented number of nationwide injunctions issued against President Trump by individual district judges, more than were issued during the entire 20th century and more than during the administrations of Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden combined. Cruz has proposed legislation to limit the power of district courts and urged the House of Representatives to impeach judges he sees as acting politically. However, such measures face strong resistance in the Senate, where the filibuster rule effectively blocks them due to Democratic support. Looking ahead, Senator Cruz places hope in the U.S. Supreme Court to rein in what he describes as overreach by lower courts. He views this as the most viable path to restoring balance in the federal judiciary. In other cultural news, Senator Cruz voiced alarm about the state of higher education, citing Harvard University as an example. He alleges the institution fosters antisemitism and racial discrimination under the guise of social justice and diversity, pointing to commencement speeches and campus environments that he believes reflect cultural radicalization. He also promoted his recent book, Unwoke: How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America, which details the ideological shifts in universities and public institutions. That's all for today's update. If you found this coverage informative, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you never miss a critical news update. Your support helps us bring you the truth, without spin or distraction. Thank you for watching.